So we just finished weaving a scarf that had a finished edge all the way around. So that's probably what you're going to do most often when you're making scarves. Another option that you have, though, is to do an infinity scarf. So a scarf that is connected on, it's just a big oval. So what we're going to do is I had this fabric already woven on this loom. So I'm going to show you the difference. So in this case, what you're going to do is we're just going to finish the edges, the long edges, and we're going to connect the short sides. So I'll show you how to do that. And this is a much wider scarf. So it'll be interesting to see how that looks as well. So it'll have kind of like a cowl effect. Be pretty bulky, but very warm. So if you live in a cold climate, this would be great. So okay, the first thing, so the same procedure is used for all looping, anytime we're looping these loops together. So we're going to take the first one off, go to the second one, pull the second one through the first, and keep going all the way down the side of the loom. And the idea is that we're stopping, though, when we get to that corner. I tend to, when I do the finishing of these scarves and cowls, I tend to start in a corner that does not have a tail, and I go toward that tail. That way I can loop the tail through the very last loop. So that's my method. There are ways around, you can use another method if you want, but that's just how so when you're trying to decide where do I start, go opposite the tail, and then you can start down here, and then you have that tail to slip through the last loop on the end. Okay, so now we're down at this end where there's a yarn tail. I'm just going to pull that up, pull a loop through, and take this next loop, pull it through, and then return it to the peg. Okay, so on the top and bottom, well, this is really not the top and bottom, the long sides of the scarf, the loops have been looped together, and it's only holding onto the loom by the short end. So what I'm going to do now is get the loops from one end transferred over to the other end, and then I'm going to connect those. That's how I'll make my infinity scarf. To transfer the loops, I'm going to use this stitch holder to just pop them off one at a time. Once they're all on the stitch holder, secure it, and then we're going to just fold the fabric in half here. We folded this in half, and you're going to, one by one, we're just going to return the loops to the loom, so there are 2 loops. On every peg. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is take the top loop and the bottom loop, pull that bottom one through the top. I'm going to move to the next peg and just grab the first available loop and go. So again, you grab top loop from the peg, pull it through the previous one, grab that bottom one, and you just work your way across the loom. Okay, so we're to the last loop, and pull that through, and then just pull this end through, like so. And then we'll weave in the ends really quick. Alright, and that's just about perfect there. Alright, we'll get this one on this side. And that's a shorter end, so we don't have to go as far with that. Okay, and then I'll turn it this way. That makes a pretty nice join there. Put this on once, kind of twist it around, Put it on again, and that is really pretty bulky. You could also put it up if you want to cover your ears a little bit and put it, I mean, you decide what you want to do. It's very staticky at this point with my hair. But yeah, it feels really warm, and I can see myself wearing this maybe around the house. We'll see.